Hi, I'm Colin English, and today we'll be talking about Ralph Waldo Emerson. Who was Ralph Waldo Emerson? Well, he was born on May 25th, 1803, in Boston, Massachusetts, to a lineage of Unitarian ministers. At age 14, he attended Harvard College, and in 1925, he attended Harvard Divinity School. Later, after the death of his first wife, Emerson would resign as an ordained minister and travel to Europe. Upon his return, he began life as a lecturer and essayist, a time period where most of his works would be composed. Some of Emerson's more famous works are as followed. Self-Reliance, published in 1841, it dealt with man's necessity to rely on himself and to express his individuality. It is defined by the quote, "Nothing is at last sacred but the integrity of your own mind." Next is Nature, published in 1836. This book outlined Emerson's belief that God was throughout all of nature, and that reality could only be understood through the study of nature. It is defined by the quote, "Every natural fact is a symbol of some spiritual fact." Lastly is the Divinity School Address, given in 1838 to a graduating class of Harvard Divinity School. Emerson openly denied Unitarian theology, and consequently was banned from the school for the next 30 years. Emerson's work was created in an era known as the Romantic period, which lasted from 1820 to 1860. It argued that art could best express universal truth and focused around the development of the self, stressing that nature and self are one. It also saw the formation of transcendentalism, which is a reinforcement of these beliefs. In terms of Emerson in the Romantic period, in years past, the Age of Enlightenment had defined truth through reason. Yet the pendulum of history would create opposing ideals of Emerson and this Romantic period. Emerson's work itself highly reflected this period, with self-reliance focusing upon the individuality of the person, and nature focusing upon man's relation with his surroundings. A key event occurred during the Romantic period that is relevant to Emerson. This was abolitionism. Emerson's work embodied ideals of personal freedom, and therefore obviously he was a proponent of abolitionism. However, he was more defined as a scholar than an actual activist. But his writings did contribute to the social strain that would eventually lead to the Civil War. Why should we read Emerson? From the historical standpoint, Emerson provides insight into the ideas and concepts of his time. Yet from the philosophical standpoint, he raises thought-provoking questions regarding individuality and spirituality. Ralph Waldo Emerson's historical legacy is impressive. Along with being possibly the greatest and most influential writer of the Romantic period, he is also well known with having championed the radical idea of transcendentalism. But Emerson's greatest legacy lies with his influence on American literature. In a time of British literature dominance, Emerson's stress upon the necessity of individualism inspired various authors, and eventually led to the creation of American literature. Emerson's work would even go on to influence famous writers such as Walt Whitman, Edwin Arlington, and Robert Frost. Emerson today remains influential. In the world of academics, his work is still highly praised on the college level, and his ideals of equality and individualism would become key components in shaping the American identity that is so prevalent today. A few interesting facts about Emerson. His first book, Nature, was published anonymously because it was so controversial. His friends thought him so wise that they referred to him as a sage of Concord. And he became so forgetful in later years that at times he cannot remember the name of his friends, his own name, or the details of his life.